Good morning, dears. Today we are moving on to the genetics portion in biology, and this is the continuation of the fifth chapter, that is principles of inheritance and variation. So today now we are going to discuss the second chapter, that is molecular basis of inheritance. This is come under the genetics portion in biology, and as we know that what is mean by this molecular basis of inheritance? Yes, we know that our characteristics and our features are derived from the ancestral characteristic. That means it is to be transferred from our parents by heredity. And the previous chapter is about the inheritance pattern and what are the principles responsible for those inheritance. And in this chapter we are going to discuss what is its molecular basis, what is the basis of those kind of inheritance. So the molecular basis of inheritance deals with the study of genes, then genetic variations and heredity. So in this chapter we are going to discuss about genes, the structure of DNA, then what is RNA and DNA replication, transcription, translation, all those molecular basis of our inheritance pattern. The DNA, RNA and genetic code forms the inheritance or the molecular basis of the inheritance. DNA, RNA and genetic code, these are the basics of the molecular genetics. And the inheritance will explain how the offspring is similar to its parent. And as we know that DNA is the genetic material. DNA is the genetic material in almost all organisms including human beings. So it is the short form of deoxyribonucleic acid. And as we know that in living system there is ribonucleic acids and deoxyribonucleic acid. So ribonucleic acids are RNAs and deoxyribonucleic acids are DNA. So these nucleic acids are the polymers of nucleotides that you may have studied in +1 class. So genetic material is one of the nucleic acids and it is the polymer of nucleotides. And in +1 you have already learned the structure of nucleotides and how the polymer of nucleotides form into a nucleic acid and all. So in this chapter we are going to study all those structures in very detail and the structures of DNA, replication of DNA and how RNAs are formed by transcription. And also we are going to discuss what is transcription, translation and also the genetic code that determines the sequence of a amino acids in protein and that kind of things. So first we shall begin with the structure of DNA. How a DNA is formed and what are the detailed structure of DNA. DNA is a long polymer of deoxyribonucleotides and the length of the DNA depends upon the number of the nucleotides. And a pair of nucleotide is also called as base pairs. Base pairs. So actually the DNA is composed of base pairs. And this is characteristic for each organism and the number of base pairs is different in different organism. Like in the case of Escherichia coli it is 4.6 into 10 raised to 6 base pairs and in Bacteriophage lambda it has 48,502 base pairs and like that. So these base pairs are specific to definite organisms. And now let's see how the structure of a long polynucleotide chain looks and how it forms and all. Okay, so the structure of a polynucleotide chain. As I told you that DNA is a long polymer of deoxyribonucleotides, and nucleotides are seen in pairs, so it is called as base pairs. So now we are going to discuss how a polynucleotide chain looks like. The nucleotides has mainly three components. Three components are there for a nucleotides components. The first one is nitrogen base. Nitrogen base. The second one is pentose sugar. And the third one is phosphate group. These are the three components of a nucleotide. First one is a nitrogen base and the second one is pentose sugar. So either it may be deoxyribose or ribose. Ribose in the case of RNA and deoxyribose sugar in the case of DNA. So pentose sugar is two types, ribose sugar and deoxyribose sugar. And the third component is phosphate group. These are the three major components that constitute a polynucleotide chain of DNA. And we can see each of these in detail. So first one is nitrogen base. Which are the nitrogen bases? Nitrogen base. So nitrogen bases are of two types, purines and pyrimidines. Purines and pyrimidines. And purines are adenine and guanine. Adenine and guanine. And pyrimidines are thymine, cytosine and uracil. Okay, these three are pyrimidines and these two are purines. Purines include adenine, guanine, and we can represent it as in capital A and guanine in capital G. And pyrimidines are thymine, cytosine and uracil. All these are represented by their first capital letters. Okay. So these are the nitrogen base found in a polynucleotide chain of DNA. So a nitrogen base is linked to the pentose sugar group by N-glycosidic linkage. I repeat, the nitrogen base linked with the pentose sugar with the help of N-glycosidic linkage which form a nucleoside. Nucleoside is formed. Nucleosides are formed by linking the nitrogen base with the pentose sugar through N-glycosidic linkage. And there is a picture which is given in your textbook. You can see the pentose sugar is there, a 5-carbon compound, and the nitrogen base like A is linked to that pentose sugar with the help of N-glycosidic linkage. So the nucleotides forms are called adenosine or deoxyadenosine, then guanosine or deoxyguanosine, then cytidine or deoxycytidine, and uridine and deoxyuridine and all. So these are the nucleosides formed by the linkage of this nitrogen base with the pentose sugar. Okay. So a nucleoside is formed, and when
phosphate group is attached to the 5' OH side of a nucleoside, a corresponding nucleotide is formed. So, how a nucleotide is formed? When a phosphate group attached to the 5' OH side of a nucleoside, a nucleotide is formed.
And two nucleotides are linked by a 3' 5' phosphodiester bond and it form a dinucleotide. What I say that the nucleotides are linked by 3' 5' phosphodiester linkage and which will leads to a formation of a dinucleotides, and more nucleotides are combined to form a polynucleotide chain that you can see in your textbook. A polynucleotide chain is formed by the linkage of the nucleosides and with the phosphate group. Okay, so there is a link of polynucleotide chain.
This is the structure of a polynucleotide chain. It contains a polymer which is formed, has at one end a free phosphate moiety at 5' end of ribose sugar, which is referred to as 5' end of polynucleotide chain. Similarly, at the other end of the polymer, the ribose has a free 3' OH group, which is referred to as 3' end of the polynucleotide chain. The backbone in a polynucleotide chain is formed due to the sugar and phosphate. The nitrogenous bases linked to sugar moiety project from the backbone.
In the case of RNA, instead of thymine, uracil is present. Uracil is present only in RNA, which is absent in DNA. In DNA, thymine is present. Okay. So the another name for thymine is 5-methyl uracil. And DNA as an acidic substance which is present inside the nucleus, it is first identified by the scientist Frederick Miescher and he named it as nuclein. Miescher named it as nuclein. And later in 1953, James Watson and Francis Crick identified the structure of DNA by X-ray diffraction techniques and proposed the double helical structure of DNA, which is a great invention in the field of genetics. That is the double helical structure of helix structure of DNA was identified by James Watson and Francis Crick by X-ray diffraction techniques, and they found that the DNA double helix has 2 strands of polynucleotide chain, and later by Erwin Chargaff, the ratio in a double-stranded DNA, the ratio between adenine and thymine and guanine and cytosine are constant and equals 1. Erwin Chargaff founded that in a DNA double helix, the ratio between adenine and thymine, guanine and cytosine are constant and equals 1. Okay, this is the invention, the most important invention in the field of genetics. And the base pairing property of polynucleotide chain of DNA is very unique property, and both the strands of DNA are complementary with each other. Complementary with each other. So when one sequence of DNA is identified, the other sequence can be predicted. Okay, so the both sequence of DNA are complementary with each other, and each strand of a DNA can act as a template DNA strand for the synthesis of a new strand. So the double-stranded DNA produced new will be identical to the parent DNA. And next you have to study what are the salient features of the double helical structure of DNA. Now let's have a look into that. The first one is it is made up of two polynucleotide chain and the backbones are constituted by sugar phosphate and bases are seen projected inside. This is the basic structure of a DNA. That means it constitute two polynucleotide chain with the sugar phosphate backbone and bases are projected inside. That is the first feature of DNA double helix. And the second feature is that two chains of DNA have anti-parallel polarity. What it means? If one chain is having 3' to 5' direction and the next chain will be having 5' to 3' direction. That means it is anti-parallel polarity in nature. The two chains will be in anti-parallel. The bases in two strands are connected through hydrogen bond. The nitrogen bases in two strands are connected through hydrogen bond which forms a base pair. Adenine form two hydrogen bond with the thymine. Okay, adenine form two hydrogen bond with the thymine and vice versa. And guanine bonded with the cytosine by 3 hydrogen bond. Guanine with the cytosine by 3 hydrogen bond. So, the purines came always opposite to pyrimidines. So, this connection will generate a uniform distance between the strands of DNA double helix. This bonding feature will constitute the parallel connection or the uniform distant connection between the two strands of DNA. And the fourth important feature of DNA is the two chains or the two strands are coiled in a right-handed fashion and the pitch of the helix is 3.4 nanometer. 3.4 nanometer is the pitch of the helix. And in each turn of the double helix, there are 10 base pairs. 10 base pairs are there in each turn of the double helix. The distance between the base pairs in a helix is approximately 0.34 nanometer. Okay. And the fifth most important feature is the plane of one base pair stacks over the other in a double helix. So it provides more stability to the helical structure. So these are the 5 important features of a DNA double helical structure. And let's have a look into the structure of a DNA once more.
This is the basic outline structure of a DNA double helix. DNA is made up of nucleotides which has 3 major components. First one is pentose sugar called deoxyribose. The second component is phosphate group which helps to bind to deoxyribose molecules together. Third component is the nitrogenous base that forms the core of the double helix. DNA is a polynucleotide chain. The nucleotides are the units of nucleic acids, DNA or RNA. And what is the difference between nucleosides and nucleotides? When a nitrogenous base combines with pentose sugar with the help of N-glycosidic bond forms a nucleoside. And nucleotides are formed when a phosphate group attached to this nucleoside. Each of the DNA strand has alternate sugar phosphate backbone. At the inner side, like a ladder, there are nitrogen bases. Adenine and thymine forms 2 hydrogen bond together. Cytosine and guanine form 3 hydrogen bond together.
So this is about the structure of DNA and the rest will be taken in our next class. Okay, thank you.